I call him the Dean of One Wall, Charlie Danilczyk. Now we have a strong doubles player of the late 70s and early 80s, Frank DeVito. Next man, he's the greatest one-wall handball player of his generation. And if you ask him, he'll say of all time. He's a man who got more press for one-wall handball than any other single person with his brash ways. He's a Hall of Famer, Mr. Humble, Joe D'Urso. He has a question.
Mr. Humble.
What do we do with this?
I'm sure you can figure it out.
It's to see if Mark's head has gotten too swollen. Next, another former singles and doubles champion, also another future Hall of Famer, Barbara Canton-Jackson. Raise your hand, Barbara. Now we have a Grand Master, a man who's still playing handball at 80 years of age. He's everyone's friend, Maxie Forscht. Mark, has Harvey come yet? Okay. Okay, next we have the current national doubles champion, and again, as young as she is at this time, it looks like she's another future Hall of Famer, Teresa Haley. Next, a two-time national doubles champion, Ken Holmes. Next, we have a strong singles player of the 60s through the 70s, and as testament to his durability, he was even a semi-finalist in singles in 1990, Tom Hopkins. Now we have a former national singles and doubles champion, a man who was still a threat to both crowns, and again, one more future Hall of Famer, Joe Kaplan. Next is a man from a handball family. His brother was a strong player and his dad was a super doubles player. And he himself did something that neither his dad nor his brother did. He's the 1978 national singles champion, Stu Kersner. Next we have the 1990 national doubles champion. He's also a one-wall masters champion, and he was a top four-wall player included. That's Eric Klarman. Now right after that, we have the man who produced the aforementioned Eric Klarman, who was a hell of a four-wall player himself, Jerry Klarman. We got a standing ovation from Eric. Next, the 1990 national doubles champion partnered with Eric. He was a top singles player from the mid-70s through the 90s. He's a grandmaster, having won titles in 1, 3, and 4-wall. A man known for his great conditioning, Danny Maroney. Seems like I left somebody out. Absolutely, I skipped somebody. No way I should skip this man. He is a former one-wall committee chairman and a great contributor to our sport during the 1970s, Kevin Kilgallen. Sorry about that, Kevin.
You're not sorry.
Now we have the one-wall commissioner and treasurer of one-wall handball. During the 90s, he was also a national junior singles champion in 1985, Elliot Nadell. Next we have a super champion in one-wall, three-wall, and four-wall, both in singles and in doubles. He's the middle brother of the greatest brother combination this sport has known. He's a Hall of Famer. And one more thing, he's the first person who was wise enough to nominate Mark for the Hall of Fame. That's Carl Obert. Now, I was told that this person is coming, and I hope he's here, but he's a man who brings lots of information about One Wall via his One Wall connections on Facebook. And that's Sam Ortiz. Is Sam here?
I don't think so.
He's on his way? Okay, well, you'll tell him that I announced him. Next we have a Grandmaster with close to 20 National Masters titles, Graham Palmore. Next, a great one-wall ambassador in today's world of one-wall handball. He's one of the greatest doubles players of the 21st century and one more future Hall of Famer, Willie Polanco. Next is three-time Masters champion, Louis Radoslavich. Next is one of the greatest one-wall doubles player ever. He has one of the unusual positions of being both a Grandmaster and a Hall of Fame player, Artie Ryer. Next, we have a strong doubles player of the late 80s, Steve Rosenberg. Now, I haven't seen him here yet, but I'm going to announce him anyway because I know he's on the list of people who were supposed to be here. But also a former singles and doubles champion, one more future Hall of Famer, Cesar Sala. Cesar here yet? No. On his way? Okay.
He's with Sam Ortiz. They're both on their way.
Okay, now we have a man who didn't begin playing tournaments until he was 55 years old. And he probably ran up the fastest number of Masters titles than anybody in the history of our game to become a Grandmaster, and he has also over 15 National Masters titles. That's Tom Vitale.
Put on the hat, Tommy.
Our next person, as soon as I mention this first comment about him, you'll know who he is, but you'll need to let me say the rest. He's the greatest contributor to handball of all time. He is a three-time national doubles champion. He's a strong three-waller and four-waller too. And he's the only man now with both a Bob Kendler Award and Hall of Fame status. You want to say his name for me? All Williams.
It's not quantity, it's quality.
He's the Zigma.
You let him take a look.
Now the next person is tied with Sheila Raya for being the greatest handball wife ever. Her carrying on, I'm convinced, brought Mark to many of his high place finishes and championships. I know my ears are still ringing from her screaming in the background. That's tonight's hostess, Linda Levine. Well, I guess tonight you'll enjoy your first course now. and we'll be back for some more speeches in a bit.